Mic'd up.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Hey, thanks for joining us on the eve of Thanksgiving. Welcome to another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes. This is your Thanksgiving crew. I got Robbie Lannerman, Marty Brown, Doug Penny, and myself, Rob Weber. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
This is the last show before the holiday. Mic'd Up wishes you a happy Thanksgiving as well. And we thought we'd try something fun and new tonight. It will either go very, very well or absolutely horribly. So let's see. Tonight's
I'm going with the latter, but that's
tonight's little game will be a game of two truths and a lie. This is a get to know your low life show. Each of us, in a couple of different rounds, will tell you two truths and a lie. And the other panel members will have to decide which one of the three statements is a lie. We know each other fairly well, so in some cases there may be, oh yeah, I know what the truth is there, and I know what the lie is there. But I guarantee there will be some surprises tonight, and some of us after this show could end up in jail. We'll have to see.
I'm in Nevada, out of your jurisdiction, so I'm safe.
That's right. You're out of jurisdiction. That's unfortunate. But we can call. We can always call and let them know what you've done.
Yeah, I got a guy.
Cousin Guido.
All right. This is Low Life show number 67, I believe, or 68, somewhere around there.
Who would have thunk it?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
We're going strong. The Low Lifes keep expanding, and as you can see by Marty's jersey, we've got the highlights from Low Life's jerseys, which will soon be available to all. You can see JC's in the background. True Colch 49.
Tie is optional.
Yeah. We're starting to look at maybe some hats and maybe as Robbie suggested earlier today, beer koozies. So that would be a fine addition to everybody's collection. So
yeah,
we'll let you know when those are available. So thanks for joining us, and let's get this experimental show on the road. I will begin by telling my fellow panel members two truths and a lie. Are we ready? Do we have any? All right. Statement number one. I have spent the evening inside of a major league ballpark. In a major league ballpark. Statement number two. I have held a newborn in my hands who went on to play in the major leagues. Statement number three. I have watched a baseball World Series game while seated next to a convicted murderer. All right. Marty, what do you believe is the lie of those three?
Well, you are old enough to hold a baby in your arms that went out to play Major League Baseball. But I know you don't have, but that's got to be the lie because you don't have that many friends.
Right. That's solid logic.
Okay. Yeah.
JC, of those three statements, and I can repeat them if you like, but of those three statements, which one is the lie?
Just give me a brief on number three.
Number 3 is I have sat and watched a World Series game while seated next to a convicted murderer.
Well, uh, I would say that it's not that you spent the night in the in a major league ballpark, because I think I do recall a story where you got trapped at Candlestick one time after a ball game, but I kind of think the murderer story is the lie, and
Okay. Okay.
it's hard to unless well, it's hard to believe that you could do that uh, when he was already convicted. He shouldn't be available to go to a ball game. So
Oh,
that's
no,
my.
no, I didn't say that. He
Oh,
would
okay,
go on to be convicted of murder.
okay, all right,
Oh, okay. He would go
okay.
on.
So
Okay.
I still think that one is stretching it.
Okay. Robbie, what do you think is the lie?
Well, OJ was never convicted. So I feel like that is plausible. Um, and I feel like the sleeping in the ballpark easily could apply to Toronto. So therefore, since the hotel is there in the ballpark, I am going to go with the newborn. That is the lie.
Okay. So it sounds like Marty believes I could not have held a child. Robbie believes I could not have held a child, and JC believes I did not sit next to a future convicted murderer. You are all incorrect.
Oh,
I
Oh.
have never spent the night in a major league ballpark, ever. I have held a newborn in my hands who went on to become a major leaguer. His name was Mike Miller. His father, Dave Miller, was my first office mate at PG&E. He had his first child, Michael. Michael went on to play to be signed by the Boston Red Sox and spent
Wow.
several years in their minor league system. And about 10 years ago, in September, he got called up. He received one at bat and grounded out as a pinch hitter for David Ortiz late in the season. He never had another at bat after that, and he is now a school teacher in San Luis Obispo. Okay. I have watched a World Series game while seated next to a person who was convicted of murder later in life. I was an invited guest to Scott Peterson's house. Scott, as you know, killed his wife and is in the news lately, trying to get
Wow.
out of jail after all these years. But
Wow. Okay.
yes, Scott and I shared opinions about how the Giants would end up beating the Angels in the World Series, and that of course did not happen. So yes,
And then
that
Dusty took the ball and gave it back to Russ Ortiz, and it all went downhill from there.
yes. So that is my lie. I have never spent the night in a major league ballpark. Sorry. All right. Who is ready to go next?
I'll go.
Marty?
All
No,
right.
JC.
All
JC, go
right.
ahead.
Oh, Okay. JC, go ahead.
wait. We're
All
going to
right.
cue this up, right? We're going to different song. Here we go.
Intense music. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh my.
Intimidation is correct.
I picked a subject for mine, each one, and this is high school.
Okay.
I went to school in Sacramento at McClatchy High School. So number one, as a reserve outfielder on the baseball team, I played on the same field that Larry Boa had been ejected from the year before as a senior. Number two, as a swimmer in high school, I won the 800 free in a dual meet, and the time per the newspaper was 2 seconds slower than the Metro League record set a year earlier by a future Olympic swimmer.
Oh,
3, I ran cross country for McClatchy and never won a race the whole season.
wow. Wow.
So those are my 3 statements. And Mr. Lannerman.
I'm going to have to say, I mean, in the time that I've known you, I don't think you would walk a cross country race, much less never win one. So that makes it the idea like it's so improbable that it's probably true.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with your first one.
All right.
So
The baseball.
which one's the lie? The lie is the Larry Boa one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the
Rob?
Larry Boa one.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Marty.
There's too much detail in the Larry Boa story that makes that true. I've known swimmers, and you know, and when they were younger, but you just don't have the physique for a swimmer. No. And don't get me wrong. The swimmers have people who are swimmers have shoulders coming out of almost coming out of their rear end. They're huge shoulders. You know, because they did it. But and I believe the cross country. Yeah, if you're an outfielder, you could run, and so you're a cross country. So the fable is the swimming story.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Weber.
Now, don't let me down now.
So I think JC got the assignment wrong. This is not 3 lies. I am gonna say, in all the time I've known JC, and I've known him a very, very long time, I have never heard him talk about swimming. I was a big swimmer in high school as well. I've never heard him talk about it, so I'm gonna say that that's the lie. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What is the answer?
only one of you obviously got it right. I did swim for McClatchy High School. I did swim the 800 free. I did win a race. The part of it was the newspaper had the time wrong, and it was actually a minute slower than the record.
Shit, nice.
So I did get talked into in my sophomore year, which is the first year that McClatchy had. We were a 3-year high school. I did get talked into at the first meeting with the athletic department. They said everybody should run cross country. I said, I'm a swimmer. We don't run. So, well, it'll help you. It'll help you, believe me. And so I did run cross country my sophomore year, and that was enough for me. Larry Boa did get ejected from a game on the field the year before my sophomore year, which is the first year, but I never played baseball at McClatchy.
You got me. That was good.
All right, JC. Who is next?
Marty wanted to go. He was dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Marty go.
I was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. This one had to do with my football officiating, and I did that.
We have to get your dramatic music.
Oh, thank you. Da-da, 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 da-da.
I like it.
3-card money. All right. Okay. All right. I mine has to do with football officiating and all the adventures that happens on out on the field. The kid was running down the sidelines in a big varsity game and got knocked out of bounds at about the 3, and I was the official covering that. He was clearly out of bounds, and that was the last play of the half. The half was over. So the father was so obsessed, he went out, he came in and accosted us as we came out of the locker room for the second half and pulled a gun on me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's number one.
Okay.
Story number 2 is I was again a sideline official at a big varsity game and was chastised all night long by the former 49er tight end Brent Jones. He knew the NFL rules, but he didn't know the high school rules. And of course, any variation he laid into me, and of course the kids, who are you going to believe, the fat official or Brent Jones? The third story was the long field goal. I was the referee in this game, the white hat. It was a warm afternoon, and the long field goal, and the mechanics had me making the call. We get the guys down at the uprights who will give a yes or no. I turn around to the scoreboard. I signal, it's good. And because it was so warm, I wasn't feeling too well, and I just did the touchdown signal and turned around and puked my guts out right there in the middle of the field.
Oh, wow. Mhm.
So those are the 3 stories.
Okay. Okay.
Webby, what do you think?
I believe virtually anything could happen to a referee on the field. I would not be surprised that somebody would pull a gun, because some of these football games mean more to these people than life itself. So I think that's probably real. The Brent Jones story, I could see that happening. I could see a professional player not understanding the college rules, and Brent Jones had been away from college football for a while, so I'm going to say I like that one. The vomit on the field story, I'm going to say that didn't happen. Okay, I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Lannerman.
I 100% without equivocation believe that you could vomit on the field. So, and I'm at a sort of an advantage here because I know the Brent Jones story. The context, however, I'm not sure if it's the same. So I got to tread lightly here, but I feel like the gun one is probably the lie. So, gun.
Okay. JC.
Well, I'm going to throw the flag on the gun story. I do, like Mr. Lannerman, believe that you could puke on the field. I think the detail in the Brent Jones thing, and it was high school, right? Not college.
But yeah, high school. But yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I believe that would be accurate. I'm doubting the gun story.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Oh, you guys are pretty good. You guys are pretty good. The vomit thing did happen. It was a hot afternoon, and it was the second half. It was the second half for the doubleheader on a very hot day, and I was quite dehydrated. Brent Jones did ride my ass all night long. He left the 49ers. His daughters were in high school, so they convinced him to be the assistant coach for the football team. And then the gun story is half correct. He didn't pull the gun, but he was such an he did go to his car and get it, and was being such a drunken loudmouth that security stopped him before he got to us. But he did have the gun. So the gun story is the lie. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Golf clap.
All right. I think we're at a point now where we need to.
Wait, well, Robbie's got to give us his first 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it? This isn't not the beverage point.
That's
Well,
okay.
you
You can still drink.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
then plan on. Okay.
I highly encourage it. All right. Here comes mine.
Oh, yours is better. That's not fair. Yours is better.
All right. So at a Giants game outside of Candlestick Park post game, you used to be able to kind of hover around where the players park. I was in line to get an autograph from Gaylord Perry and mistook the Padres' Ivan Morel for Juan Marichal, who then signed the brim of my Giants hat. Next, at Candlestick Park again, also involving Juan Marichal. He was signing autographs out by the bullpen area along the side. Remember, the bullpen was on the side of the field, and I crawled under a number. I was probably 5. I crawled under a number of people's legs, wormed my way on the ground at Candlestick up to the rail, and stuck my program and my pen out. He started laughing and signed it. So, autograph from Juan Marichal. I still have the program. Then the last one, we were at the Rusty Scupper in San Francisco, the old restaurant, and having dinner, and our table was right next to Juan Marichal, who had a large group of people with him. I was kind of shy and didn't go up to him, but he saw me acknowledging him all night and staring and all of that stuff. So at the end of the night, he came up and tousled my hair and talked to me for a couple of minutes and told me I was a handsome young man, which that in itself was a lie, so you can't count that in this story.
Okay.
So there you go. JC?
Ooh, I think I doubt the story about crawling between people's legs and getting the autograph. That's
Okay.
I understand that it was rowdy, but I don't believe that one.
Fair enough. Marty?
I remember that parking area around Candlestick. And if it was a night game, the lighting was not all that great. So I can see where you would mistake a player for Marichal. And from the stories I've heard about him, I could see him stepping away from a dinner party and come up to the kid that's been staring at him. But I have to agree with JC. That only leaves one fable, and yeah, and you're not too nimble, so I don't see you crawling through legs of people to be able to do that.
All right.
Okay.
He was younger and slimmer.
Yeah, a lot younger. Webby?
So I know that you're a big baseball card guy. You knew your cards. You knew what players look like. Ivan Murrell was not on the Giants. He was on the Padres. So he would be getting on the bus in the parking lot. He wouldn't be milling around waiting to drive out with his car. So I'm going to say that as a 6, 7, 8-year-old, if you didn't know what Juan Marichal looked like, there was something wrong with you. So I'm going to say
Well, something wrong with him is a given. Wait a minute.
What else is new?
All right. Well, nobody got it.
Oh.
The Rusty Scupper incident actually happened, but it was Willie McCovey. So yeah, the and Ivan Morel came out, and somebody in front of me, and I was probably 5 or 6. Somebody in front in the crowd of people around trying to get Gaylord Perry shouted Juan Marichal, and I tried to be one of the first kids to get over there, and I just ran. I didn't look. I didn't, and so I took off my Giants hat, and Ivan Morel signed the brim. I'm like, and then yeah, crawling under the people's legs. Yeah, again, I was a little guy. I have the 1971 game program, and I still have that in my collection with Juan Marichal's autograph on that. And I crawled under, and he laughed, and he thought that was hilarious, and he signed my program, and I crawled my way back out. But I still have that program to this day.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well,
Yeah.
if I remember when I was living back in the Bay Area, and McCovey's was there, was the big bar in Walnut Creek, and there was the one time where McCovey actually went into McCovey's, and I think this was 93 or 94, and he came out of the limousine and he needed a walker to go in there,
Yeah.
and and I was just crushed. That's not the McCovey I knew, cherished, and loved as a little kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't. Why I brought that story up, I don't know. It's kind of depressing. I'm going back to drinking. Screw it.
Thanks for the melancholy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what are you going to do now?
Way to bring the downer.
It's what I do.
Robbie, bring us back up with something interesting about beer.
Oh, what a great idea. Marty actually did a better segue than we thought.
You're welcome.
As always, the Highlights from Lowlife show is sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Brewing in Alameda, California. They are one of America's premier craft brewers. And you guys, if you've watched any episodes at all, you guys know how much we really love these beers. And it's not hyperbole. We actually do really, really like these beers from these guys. I am tonight back to the Porch Light Lager. I picked up a case of that when we did the live show there at the brewery. I fell in love with this beer last year, and like a moth to a light, I'm drawn to the beer. What are you guys drinking?
Well, I've got the Zap Pilsner, and this is a great beer. It says crisp, refreshing, and clean. It just tastes great. It's a German Pilsner, and I first got it when we were at the brewery, and I've been stuck on it ever since. Cheers,
And
boys.
it's clean, so you're practically bathing in it.
Go ahead, Marty.
I'm doing the Seaside.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
It's the last of the Seaside. Thank you very much, Big Juicy, for importing it all the way from that other state over there. And hey, you know what? I like IPAs. Sorry, I have to. As long as they taste like the Almanac Seaside, I like IPAs. It's good.
You've done like Carl Malone said, the full 360 on the IPAs.
As long as I don't have to bite through the hops, so it's good. There you go.
Wait a minute. I call a foul on that. Quit envisioning Marty doing a 360 or a triple sow cow. No, please. Image is hard to get out of your head.
Do we have to do this? Do we have to do this again?
All right, I'm trying something new tonight, and I had to ask for help on what it's called. So this is the One Love 8 Trill. It's an West Coast IPA that is a partnership between Almanac Brewing and Crown and Hops Brewing down in LA. Love it. It's really, really good, really smooth. If you guys haven't tried this, please do. I have had the pleasure of meeting the folks at Crown and Hops down in LA before. And the fact that they are now working with our friends at Almanac, that's totally awesome. So it's the One Love 8 Trill. Now, if you're looking at the can, it looks like One Love Grill.
Don't be deceived. he drinks too much. Don't blame him.
Oh, I drink because he doesn't do his research. Anyway, thank you again to Almanac. We do absolutely love the beers. Highly recommend them. We have yet to find a bad one. Even the peach cobbler cherry nova sour porter stout that we made Rob drink was still pretty good, especially in the category it's in. So anyway, if you're in Alameda, stop by the brewery, stop by Almanac, tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, and they might take pity upon you. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we're going to do another round of 2 truths and a lie. Again, the format is each of us will tell 2 truths and a lie about ourselves. The others will try to guess the lie, and then the leader will expose the lie and tell you a little bit about the 2 truths. All right, Robbie, who's up? Who's going to start this round?
Does anybody feel like starting?
I can do it.
Okay.
All right. This has to do with one of my favorite ballparks, and many of the other guys will concur. Banner Island in Stockton. And we had a chance to play some ball games there and do a couple of little tournaments there. And so 3 things happened there. And I have to do a little, story number 1 adds to a little background. And we talked about this a lot at fantasy camp. And before they actually go out that day and play ball, you're subjected to kangaroo court, where the coaches or someone else will call you out about some faux pas or something you've made the other day. And it's just a big joke. It's a lot of fun. It's for camaraderie. And you get fined a minimal amount, and it goes to some sort of charity or something. But I beat the case in kangaroo court. That's number 1. I beat the case. Number 2, I happen to be the first baseman and witnessed the most fantastic play in baseball. And it involves our good friend Tony Hensley, who pitched the pitch. Who pitched the pitch? He's the pitcher.
Who was on first?
So he pitches the pitch. I'm on first.
Who?
Go ahead.
Anyways,
he threw the ball, and like Tony does every once in a while, he falls down. The batter hits the ball, pops it up. It drops on Tony's back, and it starts to roll. One side, so everybody's screaming, "Pick up the ball! Pick up!" It hasn't hit the ground yet. All you got to do is reach over and pick it up off his back. And of course, it rolled off by the time anybody.
Did you like JC's iPad just did an impression of Tony falling down?
I planned that.
Just to help the story out.
It's called a visual aid.
All right.
And to make things really more bizarre, the number 3 is in that particular game. You guys know I can't hit worth shit, but I got lucky enough it went right all over first base, right into the deep corner of right field, and I got an inside the park home run, the only one I've ever had in my entire life. There it is.
All right. Okay. All right. Who's up?
JC
Marty?
is. JC.
All right. I played in some of those games, and I know what happened, and I attended some of those kangaroo courts. So I don't recall ever seeing you hit a ball and turn it into an inside the park home run. I just don't believe that is possible. You have my speed.
Well, this was a few years ago. Give me a little break. I mean, come on. Before I met you guys
2
and
years
started.
ago, 20 years ago, doesn't matter. All right, let's
Lannerman.
go to Mr. Lannerman.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm inclined to go with the inside the park home run story, only because I think that would have been discussed at the banquet or at karaoke or at that pizza place or watching college football at the bar in the stadium. I think that would have come up more than once, and I don't recall hearing any story about that. So I'm going to go with the inside the park home run.
Webby.
So you say you hit the ball over as a left-handed hitter, you hit the ball over the first base bag and it rolled down into the corner. So eventually it's going to hit a fence and the outfielder will be able to get to it. And I'm thinking, maybe you could get a triple. The only way you're getting an inside the park home run is if there is no fence and it rolls into the parking lot.
It rolled into the river. Give me a break.
And there's lots of cars, and maybe the ball gets stuck under a car and people can't find it. Then you'd have plenty of time to get the home run. I mean,
Or
as
the
outrageous as
right fielder is falls down and is knocked out.
yeah, and then goes into a coma.
Yeah.
You probably should have gone with. You probably should have gone with. I got a ground rule single.
So I think it's unanimous. There's no inside park home run here. Are we correct?
Shut. It was a triple. It was a triple.
And the right fielder did fall down, didn't he?
He did. And I think he broke his leg, actually, but no, but the story about Tony is classic. And I mentioned that anytime I talk to Tony, I got to bring that up and rub it in again. It literally landed on the square of his back, and it sat there for about a second before it started to roll. And then Tony starts to get up. Don't move! Don't move! It was the funniest damn thing ever. I was on first base. I got a base hit, and we were there for the at the same time they were doing the asparagus festival. And so the Stockton Asparagus Festival is a big deal, and they have craft fairs and everything. And it was morning, and the barbecue was going on and the whole bit. As the fact that the smoke came over and was a bit of a distraction. So when they called me, so I was too big of a lead off and got picked off. So sure enough, the next day I called up in Kangaroo Court, and that's the team. Yeah, that's the team. Yeah. and they said, how the heck did you get picked off? And I said, I got the smell from the hamburgers. I was hungry. We didn't have lunch yet, so I got away with it. But you're right. I bit off more than I would chew with that one. You caught me. It wasn't a home run. It was a triple. It was my only triple ever.
And by the way, pro tip on the Stockton Asparagus Festival: do not go near the porta potties.
What's the phrase? Knock a buzzard off a gut wagon.
Okay, Marty, who's up?
All right, you are.
All right. Give me some intense music, man. I'm ready.
Let's see. Oh, this seems like one for you.
How come I don't get that?
You get what you get, and you like it.
There's nothing like it.
It sounds like the theme music from Shaft. All right, number 1. I have attended the wedding of a Major League Baseball player. Okay. Number 2, I have shared a hospital room with a minor league baseball player.
Hospital room.
And number 3, some of my tournament baseball games have been umpired by a former major leaguer? Okay, got him.
Yep.
Robbie, what's my lie?
What was the first one again?
I've
The
attended
wedding.
the wedding
Yes,
of a
the
major league
wedding.
baseball player.
I'm going to say that that is true. And my gut instinct was that the hospital room sharing with a minor league player, that seems really plausible. Therefore, I'm going to say it's a lie.
Okay,
Only because you live in San Jose and it's very plausible you could be in a hospital room with the San Jose Giant at any given time. So yeah, I'm going to call that the lie. I think that's too plausible.
okay. That's probably not how you go about doing this, but sure, whatever
Hey,
works.
yeah, sometimes you have to be a detective.
All right, Marty, what do you think?
Well, I think I got to go with Robbie on this one. Why would you be in a hospital in the first place? You're a
Well,
pretty healthy guy,
I can
and
go down the number
now
of
hold on,
illnesses I've had over the years.
and I seen you play ball. I seen you play ball. You're not that aggressive. You're gonna go away rather than try to take the one off your head or anything. So yeah, hospital rooms. That's an overnight stay. That's something more than a twisted finger or a knock on the head from when you totally missed pitch. You totally missed played that inside pitch. Bonk. Okay. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna go with a hospital stay.
Okay, okay. JC, what do you think?
Well, since I attended in Bakersfield, California, games umpired by a former major leaguer, I think that's true.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, and a- as far as the wedding or the hospital, uh, I'm gonna say it's the wedding. That's the lie.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So that's my take on it. I don't have any particular intelligence on either one, but I think
You
that's
had
the
me
lie.
at you had me at I don't have any particular intelligence.
All right, all right. The lie is I have never shared a hospital room with a minor league baseball player. He was actually in the next room. I dislocated my shoulder at Dodgers fantasy camp,
Ooh.
and on the first day, and missed the entire camp. And was taken to the hospital. At the same time, one of the minor leaguers from one of the other fields was going in with an injury. Um, we did not share a room, but we were in the same hospital. I don't know where he was in the hospital, but yeah, dislocated shoulder. But that is the lie.
Wow.
I have attended the wedding of Major League Baseball shortstop Paul Zavella of the Atlanta Braves. My girlfriend at the time knew his family. And as JC can attest, for years down in Bakersfield, the home plate umpire for our baseball games was former Giant catcher Dennis Littlejohn. So,
Oh, I remember
yeah,
him. Sure.
yeah, yeah.
Ah.
So, yeah, 2 out of 3 there. You guys doing good. I like it.
Okay. All right.
All right. JC, what do you got next?
Well, I got baseball fields as a subject.
All right.
Number one, I once was paid to play outfield at Oracle Park with Will Clark hitting and caught a baseball in right field that Will Clark hit. Number two, playing first base at Candlestick at a fantasy camp game we got to play outside of fantasy camp at Candlestick. I was playing first base and I caught a ball over the railing by first base in foul territory reaching into the stands very near one of the 35 eager fans who were there, and that fan happened to be my sister. Number 3, in the early 1990s, we played the Lodi tournament at Tony Zuppo Field, and I actually hit a ball into right center, in which a normal person would have had at least a triple, and I managed to leg it into a double. So those are my 3. Marty?
I remember Candlestick. And I remember the distance between first base and the rail. And I'm going to pull on you what you pulled on me. I can't run. You can't run. You couldn't got there. So, the rail story ain't legit.
All right. Mr. Landerman.
I feel like if your sister was there, we've never seen her. We don't believe that she even exists. So for an event to happen where your sister was actually there, I find that really hard to believe. So that's I'm saying that one.
Webby's actually met my sister, I believe.
One time. Yeah. Yep.
That's all it took.
I'm going to say I'm with Marty, the railing story. Yep. That's the lie.
All right.
Well,
you guys believe that I was paid to play outfield at Oracle Park?
Well, yeah, you were in the camp for your.
In right field off of Will Clark.
Well, it was a pop-up.
I figured our friend Keith DaCosta paid your way.
Yeah.
That is actually true. I got paid $100 to be a bullpen catcher for the Will Clark fantasy batting practice, and I had to double shift as an outfielder and did catch one of the balls he tried to hit out of.
Wow, that's cool.
And he didn't come close. At Tony Zuppo Field, I actually did hit a ball into the gap and dove into second base, but the center fielder fell down and the right fielder was 90.
Hey, that's practically an inside the park home run for Marty.
Yeah, I know.
Hey!
But that's right. I did not get to the rail. My sister was there, and the pop-up landed basically on the railing, and I didn't get there.
Oh.
So you guys got me.
All right,
good.
Cool. Robbie, I think you finish out this round again.
Okay. These are all linked with a common phrase.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
So at fantasy camp, after one game, JT Snow was kind of holding court. Wow, wait a minute. We have to get this one in. Teddy Bear just called in.
And I don't believe there was 35 people in the stands to watch that. We never get 35.
Good call. All right. So at fantasy camp, JT Snow was holding court with a bunch of us. We were throwing back some beers after a game. There's, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us. We're just having a good back and forth, talking baseball, and people were asking him questions. And this one guy looks at him and he says, "Hey, how come you didn't hit more home runs?" And JT looked the guy right in the eye, kind of pissed, and said, "How many major league home runs do you have?" So the second story, as some of you know, I've been able to develop a friendship with Gary Matthews over the years, and as a broadcaster, he was able to get me into a number of games. And one time the Phillies were playing the Giants here in San Francisco, and Sarge got me into the broadcast level. Chris Wheeler of the Phillies was talking with Dwayne Kuiper and said something about, we talk about your one home run all the time. It makes us laugh. And Dwayne Kuiper looked at Chris Wheeler and said, how many major league home runs do you have? Then another time at a Chamber of Commerce thing that my buddy invited me to here in town, Gaylord Perry was speaking, and it was a great give and take, and he talked about the spitball and everything else. And somebody asked him, he goes, you're kind of a big guy. How come you weren't a better hitter? I mean, I would have thought at least maybe you had a few more home runs than just the one. Gaylord Perry looked at the guy and said, how many home runs do you have?
Okay. Wow, this one's cerebral.
Yeah, it is. This is a little difficult. Yeah.
And it's, I've used that phrase on here before because I've heard it in this context multiple times where this guy sucks. He can't hit. And I go, well, he has 16 more home runs than you have.
You do. Right. Exactly.
All right, who's up?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Even though they're all great stories. And you mentioned the first one before. I don't think anyone's idiotic enough to ask Gaylord Perry, the great Hall of Fame pitcher, about hitting a home run. He's a pitcher. He's number of teams. He said this was kind of what kind of a meeting? This was just a
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber
One
of
of my
Commerce.
buddies, a member in town, and I
yeah.
got invited to
So
the
you
luncheon.
can get morons at those things, but would someone be that moronic to ask a Hall of Fame pitcher about home runs? So
Sure.
I think that's the faux pas on that one.
All right.
What do you think, JC?
Well, a question. Wasn't it Alvin Dark who said Gaylord Perry will hit a home run, will not hit a home run until they land a man on the moon? And
Right.
Gaylord Perry's home run was actually after the Armstrong moon landing.
It was about
Right.
90 minutes after
Yeah.
the man landed on the moon and Gaylord Perry hit a home run.
So I kind of believe that story, and I know Kuiper did hit a home run, one single home run, and he's kind of a sensitive blank about that. But the middle story, I think that's the lie.
The Kuiper?
The Kuiper story.
Okay.
Jeez. I'm gonna choose the other one, the JT Snow story, because I don't think he ever worked a fantasy camp.
Oh, he
So what's
did,
the
believe me.
answer?
And he'll never go back because of his wife.
His
Oh,
wife?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
He got in big trouble for going out and getting hammered.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
With,
All
with
right.
his personal warden, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, those are all very good guesses, and one of you is correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that should do it for the show. Thanks for watching. Actually, so all three of them are almost well, the JT Snow story is completely true. And I was one of the guys that was with him when he got super hammered, and I think the wife, that was the night. That was the night. The Gaylord Perry, absolutely 100% true. At
bummer.
the Chamber of Commerce, the guy was talking, because the guy kept talking about, you're a big guy. I know you weren't, you'd think a big guy could at least, maybe you're not a great hitter, but you'd have a few more home runs. Like, no, that guy was an idiot. But yeah, that's a true story. The Dwayne Kuiper story really has more to do with Chris Wheeler saying that. They did talk about it. They were laughing about, and he goes, we bring it up on the air all the time, and we laugh. And he goes, I shouldn't even bring it up. I don't have any home runs in the major league.
So I should have guessed that one because there is no Chris Wheeler. I think you're talking about Zach Wheeler, right?
No, Chris Wheeler, the broadcaster.
Oh, okay. All right.
Used to do
I should have guessed
play-by-play.
that one.
Yeah. Used to do play-by-play with Sarge on the Philly broadcast.
All right, never heard of him.
He's kind of a Phillies homer. I called him Steve once. He didn't like that.
All right, hey, we got a few minutes left. I don't think we didn't know how long this would take us to go through a couple rounds. We got three or four more of these we could do. We might have to do another show if this is widely accepted, like I think it is. You know.
I mean, the night before a major holiday is a really good time to test something new because we have well over one listener tonight.
Yeah, everybody just sitting there got nothing to do.
Thank you to our listener.
I can't believe Brent's comment only got two votes. The AI must be off on that.
Yeah, that's how bad it was. All right. Hey, let me spend a few minutes going over what else is going on at Mic'd Up,
Okay.
and then we might wrap this up with other fun little tidbits on two truths and a lie. So you're watching us on the Mic'd Up app. This was not a night for great for comments, but if you wanted to leave us a comment or a question, you just hit the microphone at the bottom of the screen, and you've got 30 seconds to leave us a question or a comment about what we're talking about. If it's appropriate, we'll play it on the air. You get to hear your voice.
And I will play the inappropriate.
Yeah, if it's really inappropriate, we'll never see it. But
I'll put it to the top of the queue.
but please join in. We really love interacting with you all when we're doing the show. Mic'd Up is currently marketing to professional and sports teams and organizations. This is a proof of concept show that you're watching. We get shown to some of the other professional organizations, and apparently that helps Mic'd Up sell.
These four morons can do it.
Imagine that. Sky's the limit. Yeah, okay.
There are some other shows on the network. The Jim Darby Show. Jim did a show earlier today about how he got into sports marketing. Really cool stories. Jim shows a half an hour every other week. He's a former Easton executive and an accomplished author. The Rick Barry Show, former NBA, ABA All-Star, Hall of Famer. Rick and his co-host Cyrus have a show that is intermittent on the network, and they usually talk Golden State Warriors, they talk college basketball, they talk pros, and they talk the 3-on-3 league that Rick is a coach in. Great show, and he gets to all of your questions. The Florida Sports Hall of Fame, John Rieger has a show. John is associated with the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, and he brings on inductees into the Hall of Fame and interviews them, and they get to tell us about where their careers have gone after their induction. You get people like Wade Boggs, Fred Bolitnikoff, and Jan Stevenson on the show. Really good listen. You should take a look at that one. AJ Rodner is a executive with the New York Giants football team.
He's crying a lot. He's crying a lot these days.
He's a diehard fan. I know AJ went to the last Giants game and was hoping that Tommy DeVito would be the next Tommy guy. He was not, but AJ and his buddies, they talk Giants, they talk Rangers, they talk Mets. And I've got to send you guys a clip from AJ doing the Penn State basketball play-by-play last week. Absolutely stunning how excited one person can get about a slam dunk. I've never seen anything quite like it. AJ's shows are fun to listen to, and he's got one or two shows going each week. Let's see. What am I forgetting?
Oh no! Oh,
coast to coast.
You were doing so well. You were doing so well.
Mike Miller and Adam Schneider, good friends of ours. They are doing a weekly show. They won't be on tomorrow, but every Thursday they are doing a show talking about their beloved Yankees. Just like AJ, they are diehard fans, and they're still in misery over the World Series happening. But you know, they're building for next year, and that's what the shows are about now. So they'll be back in a good mood here after the holidays. So please tune into their show.
And we just
All
got
right.
a ringing endorsement, as the #1 show on the app.
All right, let's see if
Hey
it's
boys, I love High Times from Lowlifes. Keep it up.
Matt, thank you. Have we ever had a comment from a schmuck before?
From an E6.
Let's just say we'll get you back. It will happen when you least expect it. So that's another episode of High Times from Lowlifes. I think we're going to do a show next week. I don't see why we wouldn't,
Right,
because none of us have lives. But
right, exactly.
we will likely be back here on let's see, December the 4th, Wednesday, at 6 p.m. Pacific, with another new fun show and topic. So until then,
Hey.
thanks for tuning in.
Don't forget
my-
Almanac. Huh?
Thank you all, Mark, and to the close friends on the screen, and the close friends that are listening in, and the close friends who had something better to do. A joyous and blessed Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right,
Have
thank
fun.
you.
Thank you, Almanac.
Thank you all, Matt.
From Lowlifes. Highlights from
need another beer.
Lowlifes.
Oh, without a doubt.